This video shows my O-gauge Lionel fast track model train layout, which I call Bill's Yellowstone Valley Railroad. The first engine you see is a Lion Chief GP7 diesel pulling a freight train. It's going around the lower or valley loop. The scenery is not meant to represent any particular time or place, although it is typical of the sandstone cliffs in the Yellowstone Valley, where I live. Most of the scenery is carved from 2-inch sheets of insulating foam. In many places, no attempt is made to conceal the seam between the layers of foam, as it's meant to represent the layers of sediment in the sandstone cliffs. I found that the best tool to carve the foam is a drywall saw, with the shop vac handy to control the mess. After the foam is carved, it's painted and sprinkled with woodland scenic turf. After the freight train goes through the valley tunnel, it comes around to a rural town I call Molt. There are half-dozen structures in the layout that are built from Bachmann's plastic-built kits: a train station and a loading platform, a filling station, a supermarket, a coaling tower, and a crossing shanty. But most of the structures are scratch-built from 3/16-inch foam poster board covered with printouts from Evans Model Builder computer software. There's a rustic church, a grain elevator, a freight loading dock, a hardware store, a cafe, a hotel and adjacent bar, 3 townhouses in Molt and a couple in the mountains. A dozen scratch-built buildings in all. When the freight train leaves the valley loop, it ascends a grade to the mountain loop. The train crosses a scratch-built overpass in front of a hill. The log cabin on the hill was constructed by combining 2 log kits from a craft store. The train proceeds across one of 3 bridges. All of the bridges on the layout are scratch-built. Beyond the 3 bridges is an area that I call Soda Butte. There's a house on Soda Butte, along a creek, above a waterfall, and a second tunnel under the butte. The creek is made from Woodland Scenic's realistic water, and the waterfall from Woodland Scenic's water effects. When the train exits the Soda Butte tunnel, it crosses another of the 3 bridges. The bridges allow a crawl space to get to a storage area under some stairs. The freight train continues behind the cabin hill to come back down the grade. The trees in the mountain area are pine trees that were purchased from Hobby Lobby at an after-Christmas sale. They were meant to be table decorations. The deciduous trees in the valley are scratch-made from twigs of sagebrush with bits of foam glued on. The foam also comes from Woodland Scenics. After the freight train comes down the grade, it enters the 3rd tunnel, which is in a closet. The train goes through the closet, comes back out into the town of Molt by another house, the K&L Cafe, and the loading dock, and is back where it started. This is a SCARM diagram of the fast track in Bill's Yellowstone Valley layout. The blue track is in the 3 tunnels. The green track is the lower or valley loop, and the red track is the upper or mountain loop. There are over 240 pieces of fast track, including 16 switches, 14 of which are remote. The other 2, the manual switches, are on the dead end sidings. It's now dusk. A Lion Chief Polar Express engine exits the closet tunnel, pulling a passenger train on a fast trip around the mountain loop. At the same time, there's a Lionel conventional Seattle, Portland, and Spokane switcher, which is pulling a coal hopper and a caboose around the valley loop. Almost all of the structures in the layout include lights. I cut up strings of battery-powered Christmas lights and used 3 AA batteries to power the lights. The passenger train continues back into the closet tunnel, where it's automatically stopped by an Azatrax D2X exhibit controller with infrared sensors. After 4 seconds, the D2X starts the GP7 freight train, which has been waiting on a siding in the tunnel. The GP7 circles the mountain loop in the opposite direction that the Polar Express ran. When it returns to the closet tunnel, it will be stopped by the exhibit controller and the Polar Express restarted ad infinitum.